welcome to If I Can Do It, You Can Do It, Tazzy's Quarantine Cooking. That's what we're going to do. Today, we're going to be making Tazzy's Spinach and Feta muffins. I wanted muffins, and Miss Christy behind the camera. Hi, Miss Christy.
Hello.
She wanted me to eat healthy, so we came up with a compromise. So we're going to make some spinach and feta muffins. They're going to have, obviously spinach and feta, some garlic, onion, and some good stuff like that. We've never made it before, but we were told they were delicious, and we hope the people that are told us that we can trust. So we'll make those, and they're going to be different, right? They're going to be savory instead of sweet.
Correct.
Obviously. Okay. Well, I trust you. So first, I'm going to show you what we got here. We got ingredients. I've already pre-done some stuff. Otherwise, I'll forget to do it. About a half a cup of butter.
Melted.
Well, yeah, they could tell it's melted because it's in the liquid form. It's melted. And here is some melted, well, not melted, I guess. It's crumbled up feta, about just over a cup, eh? Just about a cup. We're going to have some dill. We're going to have some onion powder, some garlic powder, and the rest of the stuff you don't need to, well, I'm going to tell you, it'll be in the recipe, but this not as much fun. Like you can, I can really taste the baking powder, and that's awesome. Some salt, of course. We got spinach, we got milk, we got an egg, and some flour. And I started to pre-cut the spinach a little bit, so you can see that it's little teeny pieces. It's a little bit of teeny. It feels nice. It's like therapeutic. It's like Buddha sand. And I've washed my hands, and we're ready to go. So we're going to take about 8 and a little bit ounces of spinach. So 2 big handfuls, a little bit of this. When you're buying your spinach, use the clear part back here. When you're buying spinach in the bag, make sure that it's not wet and getting dark and things like that, because that means it's turning. Miss Christie has taught me that because I bought some spinach, and the next day it was like a bag of soup. So she has told me to do that. Make sure that you can tell. I mean, you can go by the date on the sides, if it even has dates on here, but I go by how much, if it looks slimy inside, don't buy it. That's for turtles and stuff, I suppose.
So the recipe calls for 250 grams of spinach, fresh spinach. That bag has, was it 8?
This is 284 grams.
So it's almost a full
bag.
Yeah. We figured you would leave about a handful left in the bag. You might want to do maybe a little bit more. I don't know. These are going to be very spinachy.
They're not going to be super spinachy because this only makes 2 muffins, which is really odd. How many muffins does this make?
I think it makes about 12.
12.
Yeah.
Or a dozen. One of the 2. I mean,
yeah.
I guess they say 6 of one or half a dozen of another twice. I don't have great knife skills because they say, don't be afraid of the knife. And I'm like, well, if you're not afraid of the knife, then you can't count to 10 anymore in your hands, really. So I'm just going to cut these up into little teeny pieces. Actually, get any of the big ones. Man, I always am in amazement of the fellows like you watch Hell's Kitchen and stuff, and they are able to just with the with whatever they're cutting. See, I'm not even afraid of looking away because then I'll be like, whoop, oh, there we go. There's one for, But I'm going to tell you straight out, if I was cutting this, nobody cares about me cutting spinach. Miss Chrissy gets me lopping my thumb off. Holy crap, 12 million views for sure.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, for sure. And then I can't hitchhike. Oh, I can hitchhike there, but how do I hitchhike back? Only one thumb? Yeah. I can't imagine what it would be like right now having to go to the hospital with everything being locked down and stuff, eh?
Yeah. Hurting yourself right now is a bad idea.
Hurting yourself would not be a bad idea.
Using extra caution on everything is a good idea.
Yes. I'm going to use this knife because I like to feel like I'm special. I have 2 3 knives. I guess what's going to happen is these guys are going to cook down into little bits of fluff. Is that good enough? I think that's good enough.
That's plenty good.
That's good enough there. Let's do this, just because that sound bugs Miss Christie.
Yep, just a little bit.
A little bit? Okay, I'll find something more annoying in a little bit. So we're just going to add this to the stuff we already have. Pretty sure that's probably about 8 ounces.
Oh, this recipe doesn't call for it in ounces, Tazzy. This recipe calls for it in grams.
8, how many grams? Oh, it calls it, okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I did. Miss Christie gave me one job, and I didn't do it, so then she gave me another job as punishment. I had to find this recipe, and I just grabbed a recipe that had all the ingredients I thought was going to be good into it, and then Miss Christie added, oh, let's add this and this and this and this. So this recipe is in grams and stuff and not ounces, and it's confusing me quite a bit because, I'm not used to buying things that are green like this in grams. I usually buy the ounce I buy it. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, so that's my OCD. Every one of these is exactly the same. So we're going to throw that to the one side there, and I'm going to take the bowl here, the bigger bowl. Listen, you can tell, listen. Making muffins, muffins. You're at peace with the muffins. Muffins is good. There. So we'll have that. Put this over here because that's what we do.
Yeah,
now,
you can get rid of your knife as well.
I can get rid of my knife?
Yeah.
Wow, I wish I had that. Just could you imagine? Just no, nothing. Okay.
Again, extra caution at this time is probably best.
Extra caution is for people that don't want to get hurt, Miss Christie. Oh, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to put that at the university. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. Peaceful times. Okay. Ironically, the more I do this, the less peaceful Miss Christie gets. She's giving me this look. She's like...
He knows me so well.
And I can see you, too. So we'll start with the dry ingredients, obviously, is what we're doing first.
Yes.
Because that's what it says on the piece of paper of knowledge. And we want...
So you need 2.5 cups of flour.
2.5 cups of flour.
Yes. This recipe actually asks for self-raising flour, but we do not have any of that on hand. So we're going to...
Self-raising flour?
Yes.
They make that?
Yes.
Sounds like a flour that you just... It's like a latchkey kit. That's a self-raising flour. It'll be fine. Right? So raise yourself, kid. But don't get mixed up with all those other stuff.
So in our experiment, we're going to add in a tablespoon of baking powder.
To make sure that it rises.
Yeah, because it needs something to leaven it. And so that's what we're going to try.
Flour.
It is an experiment.
This is an experiment, which is probably what you shouldn't call a recipe. Hey, would you like to try my new recipe? Well, I'd very much like to try your new recipe. I'd love to. Me and the missus will pop over in a little bit and try their new recipe. Hey, you want to try my new experiment? No, I don't. I want to stay home.
I think
which is what you should do anyway.
Yes, you should stay home. I think showing experiments can give people more confidence in their own.
Okay. Well, way to totally destroy what I was saying, but yeah, I know what you mean. Just an experiment, then you can go out and you don't have to be right to the recipe. You can go, oh, what if I add this, or what if I take this away, or if I add a little bit more of this and stuff, and not go so linear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what we're doing with this.
Yeah. Yes, right? That's what we're doing.
But we are going to make sure that we follow the, like you said, to make sure that is pretty much a 2.5 for sure. Yeah,
because, well, when you're talking about like a muffin, your dry ingredients to your wet ratio is pretty important to make sure that your muffin is going to come out with a nice mouthfeel. You don't want it to be too dry, and you don't want it to be too soggy. Yeah. So if you follow the recipe for some of the important ingredients like the flour and the wet stuff to the T, and make sure that you've got it fairly close, then it should come out with the intended texture.
Yeah. Well, it's not like when we're making the sourdough where the dough will tell you if I need more water, if I need more.
Correct.
More. You said 3 of these? No, 2.5.
2.5 cups.
I'm going to do this to the T. AZZ.
The part that is going to be iffy for us here is the baking powder part, because that is just an experiment, and it's kind of based on what I saw in similar recipes.
Okay. Well, if it doesn't work out, we'll lie to you, and you'll try them anyway, and you'll be like, you'll never follow us again. No, but if we're going to be honest with you, if these don't turn out, you're never going to see this video anyway, so it's perfect. So 2.5 is in here.
Yeah.
Now, all the other dry ingredients?
Yes.
Okay, so not the feta.
And your spinach. Yeah, actually, your feta's going to go in there, your spinach.
Can I put the dry ingredients in first, because I've got my OCD is telling me.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we're going to put in about 3 cups of this. What? Garlic? No.
No, I would, since this is an experiment, I would go a teaspoon and a half. We like garlicky things.
I like
so,
garlicky things, yeah.
You know, you could do a...
We are not down by us yet.
This is just a flavor component, so...
Yeah. So you said about a teaspoon and a half?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I guess you don't need to do that because I'm going to be mixing it up. Just going to eyeball it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. This part doesn't have to be precise.
No, this is going to be. This is going to give it the taste. It's not going to give it the feel that it's supposed to have, and it's not going to affect the baking at all.
Right.
You know what we learned today, talking about, or not today, I guess this week, that we turn. Same with the onion powder, about the same.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Here's what Miss Christie learned this week: is that when you're making pickled garlic, and you put fresh garlic in to the pickle juice, you have to wait more than a day to try it.
If that's an experiment, so
it was an experiment. So I come in here, the first thing Christy, her eyes light up. She goes, "Smell my breath," and I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Smell my breath," and I'm like, "Okay." She goes, and I'm like, "Holy smokes!" You know that scene out of Raiders of the Lost Ark where they don't look at the Ark, and you look at the Ark, that's what it was like. It was, and then Wee Beast walked in. It was just. How much baking powder?
A tablespoon.
A tablespoon, the big one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, if I can do it, you can do it. But that was just an experiment that you were doing with, basically old.
Yeah, I was just playing because I really like
Tablespoons.
Yes.
Okay.
I really like pickled garlic, or the garlic that you get in your olives.
And the olives, yeah.
And so I had some juice from a garlic stuffed olives left over, so I just threw some cloves in there to see if they would pick up the flavor and mellow out. And after 2 days, they had not mellowed out. They had picked up the flavor, but they had not mellowed out.
What do you tell me all the time? Patience. And I say, I have patience. And you say to me, Tazzy, if you had patience, you'd be able to taste the second bite of pizza. Right? Because I know, I'm like, and then there's a flap of skin hanging from the top. Mm-hmm. How much of this? This is the
dill.
This is dill.
That one, a tablespoon of chopped fresh dill. So I would go with half a tablespoon of dry.
Half a tablespoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 teaspoons.
Make your mind up. Is it 2 teaspoons or is it half a tablespoon? So what should would be? You and your rules. There you go. Be like Julia Child. And a little for me. Okay, so down to that. How much salt do we need for this, Ms. Christie?
I gotta find the salt.
That's full salt right here. On the paper.
Ha! Let's see. Actually, this recipe does not call for salt.
Doesn't call for salt? I think we should put a little salt in.
I would agree with that. I would put in a teaspoon of salt.
That's what I'm going to do. Well, you know what? Oh yeah, because these are. We didn't use onion salt and do we use onion salt and onion, or do we use onion powder?
Just powders.
Yeah, so there's not a salt
but
contact.
The feta tends to be very salty, so that might be why they didn't. Maybe half a teaspoon.
Yeah, this is the teaspoon, right?
Yeah, okay. The self-rising flour might have.
Is it too late, or should I take some out?
The self-rising flour might have a salt component. I don't know.
Well, you think if it was self-rising, would have, all the sort of the stuff you need, right?
I don't know.
Okay, how much Parmesan cheese? I forgot to mention Parmesan cheese. This is real Parmesan cheese that we've taken and we've over the course of 3 or 4 days we have grated it down. I just Grated. It didn't take that long. I'm lying. How much Parmesan cheese do we need?
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons. This is the tablespoon, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, this will have a lot of salt content too.
Yeah.
2 tablespoons. I know, Christy. Miss Christy goes, listen, you don't have to sprinkle everything in. Just put it in. You don't have to be. But I like to sprinkle because then it looks like there's been a snowstorm of Parmesan. That's awesome. And then you said in with the feta?
I would give all of that a stir because that's all your super dry stuff.
All the super dry stuff. I'm going to use a fork because she won't let me use a whisk.
Actually, a spoon would probably be better.
A spoon would be better?
For that.
Okay, well, there we go. Not allowed to use a whisk since the incident. That's part of the incident right there. There we go. I'm an aggressive stirrer. Okay, and you said to put the spinach in?
Yeah, the spinach and feta as well.
Okay, spinach in. I guess I should have done it a little bit at a time, maybe?
Nope.
No? Okay, doesn't matter to you.
And I would just dump your feta on top of the spinach.
Yes, ma'am. Put the feta on top of the spinach.
This might actually make 24 muffins. Just looking at the volume there, it might make 24 muffins.
That's one thing Christy said. Pump up the volume, pump up the volume. Boom, boom. That's all the song I can do because we didn't buy the rights to it. Okay. I think that's all the dry ingredients we have, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
we've got...
And mix this all in?
Yep.
Okay, mix it in. Mixing. This looks like what Mom used to make, and she never knew how to make muffins that were not savory, I suppose. See? I'm holding the spoon like that because I'm an amateur, but other people probably would just be like, there you go, just that's it. Whoa. I can't cook unless some British guys call me a donkey or something. Let's sing it. What are you, a donkey? I guess I'm Scottish. Listen, donkey. Get all this. There, it's mixed up. It looks like it just snowed. That's what it looks like. Oh, it looks delicious. Shall we try it? No. Okay. Now, wet ingredients. 1 egg.
1 egg.
Okay. I am the... How come I bust stuff by accident, but when I come to making an egg, and you said me to beat this...
Yeah, give it a good...
Tell me when to stop.
Kind of when it all looks the same color.
There you go. Yep, it's got bubbles like in the tub. So yeah, we're good?
Sure.
Okay. Now...
You're going to add your butter.
Add your butter. Butter. That was 1 cup of butter.
Yeah.
No, half cup. Half cup of butter?
That was a half cup butter.
That was a half cup of butter.
Yeah.
Well, we could have had more if I wanted more.
I would give that a mix before you add because the butter will solidify if it comes in contact with something cold, or it can. I would just mix that together.
Okay. She is mixed.
And then add your milk.
And my milk.
You need 1 1/3 cup of milk.
1 1/3 cup.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Where's the 1 cup? Okay, I see. This will be 1 cup. 1 cup. 1 cup. And then the third. Where's the third mark? There it is. We need better lighting in this kitchen, hey? I need better eyes. 1 1/3 cup. Now it's buttermilk.
Just move your milk carton. Thank you.
Oh, I was going to move it. Yeah, because otherwise you didn't get that in. Okay. That's everything. Now, I take and put this in here.
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
Do I have to make like a little thing in the middle,
No,
or just pour it all in?
Just pour it all in.
Because sometimes I go to pour everything in, you're like, Tazz, no. And I'm like, okay, sorry. Then I take it out, and you're like, stop using a straw. And I'm like, oh, very sorry.
It's never happened.
That's never happened. Mixing.
Yeah.
No, you said to make sure that this gets mixed, but not overmixed.
Right. You never want to overmix your muffins because it makes them tough. So you basically want to mix them just until the dry ingredients mostly disappear. If you still see like a few crumbs of dry, that's fine. But you don't want to like stir well past. Tazzy, you had one job.
Somebody's going to have to wash the floor now.
Yeah, you.
That's why we need a dog. Because then that would be cleaned up. Can we have a dog?
No.
Can we please have a dog?
No.
What if I said I would? What if? I'm sorry. Can I pretty please have a dog? Maybe.
No.
Okay. She said maybe. That's what I hear.
Focus on your muffins.
And focus on my muffins.
You look like you're getting pretty close there.
Yeah, it's still got a little bit of dry stuff on the bottom, so we'll scoosh that all up. Oh, my grandma's here.
A little bit of dry stuff is fine.
On the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just don't want to overmix.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over so you can take a quick gander at it and see what you think, because I really don't know and you won't appear on camera. I'm not saying you can't appear, like you don't, it's not like you're, there, that's what that looks like.
You pull the bowl back a little
sorry,
bit.
help with that.
There, yeah.
Yeah?
No, that looks good.
Okay.
It looks sort of like a really thick mixture.
Yeah.
But that spinach is going to cook down and release a lot of moisture as it cooks down in the muffin.
Yeah.
So
I'm just going to clean up the floor
thank you.
so that it, on a counter, in a drawer, because otherwise I'll step in it and it'll be like, why do my socks smell delicious? Just walking behind the camera, I guess I could have just thrown it out somewhere else.
Probably.
This is why we get paid the big bucks. Okay, so now we put them into the muffin tin.
Correct.
Now it says, ooh, we almost lost these. It says that you can, like we're going to use the little hats, right? And
Yeah.
then, or I guess the little pants in this
Yeah.
case.
My preference is for the parchment paper cups because they release what you're baking very easily.
Yeah.
If you use the regular
The
paper cups, you
okay.
might still want to spray them with
Like a cookie spray of some sort.
yeah.
Butter. Okay. So you mean if we were using paper ones, you'd still spray this? Or
No,
you'd still spray inside?
I'd spray inside the paper
okay.
cups.
That's cool.
If you're not using any cups at all, then definitely grease up your tin quite thoroughly. Otherwise, these will probably stick quite well.
Crazy. Okay, so how much am I putting in there, Miss Christie?
Well, let's see. It just says spoon mixture into prepared pans. Usually when you're making muffins, if you fill it about 2/3 full, you're good. That's probably fine. This is a dense mix.
About that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. That's more like 5/6 full, but you know.
Well, like I said, that spinach is going to cook down. It's got a lot of air pockets in the dough right now because it is a dense dough.
Yeah. This doesn't make. Are you sure this isn't supposed to be like 4 loaves of bread? Because look at this.
Actually, this recipe doesn't tell you how many muffins it makes.
Oh, surprise!
Mm-hmm.
But it's important to get them all around the same stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you want approximately the same amount.
And try not to get it on the outside. Oops. That one's got too much in it, but that'll be okay.
We want approximately the same amount in each cup because that will make sure that they cook relatively evenly.
Okay,
You don't want a huge...
This one isn't wearing its pants properly. There we go.
A huge muffin is not going to cook at the same rate as your smallest muffin, so you could end up with a burned muffin and a raw muffin if it's not... Maybe not to that extreme, but, you know.
Yeah, that's a lot. Well, I'll just fill these up the best I can, and then Miss Christie will... How come when you do it, nothing like this ever happens?
Because I use another spoon to scrape
Well,
the dough out of the...
you and your fancy tricks. Oh, I learned this in Hogwarts. The same size spoon or a smaller spoon are we using?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, well, it seems like it does. You're laughing at me. Okay, well, this one's got hardly anything. This one I gotta add a little bit to this. This is ridiculous. This is why, you know what? This is why they have stores that sell stuff like this.
Yeah. So when you're putting your stuff in, don't touch the muffin liner with your sticky batter, and it won't lift up.
No,
Right?
there.
There. See? It didn't lift it up.
I know, but these are things you could have told me before we started filming.
Oh, but it's so much more fun to watch you have problems.
Ah. Oh, well, then I just touched the bottom. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'll wipe it off.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try before it goes in, because then otherwise. And then these go into the oven at both 375?
We preheated the oven to 375. It's the recipe is in metric, so it did ask for 200 degrees Celsius.
Which is like 384, 394.
Yeah, like it's between 375 and 400. So we went more with a cautious 375 than 400.
Ah,
You touched it again.
I didn't touch it. You were
You-
watching.
you
Oh,
did.
now there's all in here.
Mhm.
Well, okay. So I'll put this to the side. And I will get a piece of paper towel. And I will wipe out the tin. There. That one needs a little bit more. Geez, I hope these are good, because we're good enough for probably about 36 muffins in here. There. This one needs a little bit more. It's, to me, it's hard to just estimate, right? Because my brain is like, it has to be exact. But like you were saying before, is that it's not have to be exact, just close, right?
Yep.
Just like when you married me. I'm not exactly what you wanted, but I'm close. Here, take a look. Maybe this one needs a little... Whoa, maybe this one... that could have been really bad. Maybe this one needs a little bit more? Or do they all look okay? Okay. We'll put them in the oven here at 375. There you go. 375 for how long, Miss Christie?
20 minutes, or until a skewer inserted in the center comes out clean.
Okay, so I'll put it in 15 to start, you think? Or 20 for sure?
I think let's try 18, and then we'll check on it at 18.
Okay, we'll try 18. Oh, no, you can be quiet. I gotta be smarter than it. 18?
Yeah.
We'll start it at 18, and then we will see where it needs to be, and then we'll take the and put it in. I guess a toothpick. We'll put it in and see if it doesn't stick. It comes out clean. They're cooked inside, and then we'll taste them and then let you know if we're gonna cook the second batch, or if we're just gonna erase this video. Back in a little bit. I got some cleaning up to do, and yeah, talk to you in a few minutes. There's about 20 seconds left, and I'm excited because I want to taste these. So got my toothpick to make sure that when you poke it in and if stuff comes out, you cook them a little bit more. But if you poke it in and put it in and nothing comes out, you put this back into the toothpick. So that's what is important. Christy's just like, no, that can't happen. Oh, there we go. Okay, shut this off and then check this. Clean. Clean, 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 clean. I need to get some adult size muffin tins. Oh, I didn't think this through, did I? So we have the batch of muffins that are out, and we pulled these ones out a little bit ago as well, and we let them cool. So we are going to taste these now. Gonna give one to Miss Christie, and then one to me. Make sure they're not. So this is what they're looking like. They didn't rise up very much.
No, they did not. So the self-rising flour might be a different combination than maybe I expected. We didn't look it up. I just guessed.
Yeah.
We tried putting in what I saw in other recipes, but next time what I would do is I'd research to see if there's a substitute that you can make for self-rising flour. It might have a different combination of like baking soda and baking powder. So, but
look delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You gonna let me try first? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Christy, these are good.
Good.
It's more a biscuit.
Yeah.
Than a 100%. I would make these again.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good.
How's the garlic and the onion powder in there?
I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it with the it's got just a nice taste. It's not overpowering of garlic and not overpowering of the onion and the feta. I would actually maybe use a little bit more feta because I you know how much I love feta, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's really, really good. I would make this again.
Okay.
I would call this experiment a success.
Perfect.
That's perfect. Excellent. So, if you want the recipe, I will attach it to this video because you'll see this video now that they're not gross. That if they were gross, you would never see this video at all, and we'd be playing hockey. But these are good, and I probably shouldn't have put this in my mouth before I start talking again. But I'm definitely gonna make this recipe again. They're nice. They're savory. They got really good mouthfeel, and I'm gonna probably eat 4 of these before I even realize. So. Yeah, that's about it. Remember, if I can do it, you can do it. So, that's been another episode of Tazzy's quarantine cuisine. This is awesome. Thanks, Christy. Bye, Miss Christy.
Bye.
Yay. I eat a lot of these, I bet.